There is a profound truth in the simplicity of that phrase. Life, much like the act of riding a bicycle, is not meant to be static. The world around you is in motion, constantly shifting, turning, and evolving. Yet so many of us caught in the weight of fear, doubt, or the pressure to be perfect, find ourselves stopping, hesitant, afraid to move forward. We hesitate, afraid of falling, afraid of the unknown, and as a result, we lose our balance. But what if I told you that the key to finding your balance in life is not about staying still, but about moving with purpose, even when you can't see the full road ahead? Think of it this way. When you ride a bicycle, you must keep pedaling. The movement is what creates the stability. You move forward, even when you can't predict the next twist, the next turn, or even if the path is clear. But you know that if you stop, you'll fall. And so, you push forward, relentlessly, driven by an unseen force that pulls you onward, no matter how tough the terrain may seem. Life is the same. The road ahead is never perfectly paved. It's messy, unpredictable, and filled with obstacles. But you have two choices. Stay paralyzed by the fear of falling, or keep moving, keep pedaling, and find your rhythm amidst the chaos. Those who succeed are the ones who refuse to give in to inertia, who refuse to stop and wait for perfection, who push through despite the uncertainty. Albert Einstein, a man who understood the vast mysteries of the universe, once said, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." These words are not just a motivational quote. They're a deep truth about the nature of success. To find balance in life, you must embrace the motion, the momentum that comes with taking that next step, even when you can't fully see what lies ahead. But why is this so difficult for so many? Why do we struggle with the constant forward motion? It's because the world has conditioned us to wait for the perfect moment. We're told to plan, to wait, to make sure everything is lined up perfectly before we begin. But this is a trap, the trap of perfectionism, the trap that tells you that only when you have it all figured out can you begin. That's not how life works. Life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about seizing the moment and trusting that in the act of movement, you will find clarity. You will discover purpose. When you keep moving, when you keep taking action, you start to see the world in a different way. The road may not always be smooth, but the further you go, the more you learn about your own resilience. You begin to understand that it's not the destination that matters most. It's the journey, the strength you build, and the wisdom you gain from each pedal stroke. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean that every decision you make is going to be flawless. Life is messy, and sometimes you will fall. There will be moments where you stumble, where you lose your balance. But here's the secret. Falling is not failure. Falling is part of the process. The key is getting back up and pedaling forward. Every time you fall and rise again, you become stronger. You build the kind of resilience that allows you to keep going, no matter how challenging the path becomes. Think about the greatest minds in history. People like Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. Or Henry Ford, who faced countless setbacks before he revolutionized the automobile industry. They didn't stop when they faced failure. They didn't wait for the perfect moment to start. They simply kept moving forward, one step at a time, learning from every setback, and using each failure as a stepping stone toward success. This is where many of us go wrong. We expect perfection from ourselves, and when we don't meet our own high expectations, we stop, we give up, But that's not how it works. The greatest achievements are born from a relentless drive to keep going, despite the challenges. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in one try. He kept moving, kept failing, kept learning. Ford didn't create the assembly line overnight. He kept pushing forward, never allowing the setbacks to stop him. The same goes for you. Your dreams, your ambitions, your potential. They're all waiting for you to keep moving. But here's the truth. The road is not going to be easy. The bike will wobble. There will be hills that seem too steep and obstacles that feel insurmountable. But every time you push through, you gain momentum. And momentum is a force more powerful than any obstacle. What if you allowed yourself to believe that every challenge you face is simply a test, a part of the journey to help you become who you're meant to be? What if you saw every setback as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to grow stronger? What if you accepted that falling is part of the ride, but it's the getting back up that defines who you are? This is where clarity comes in. Clarity isn't found by sitting still, waiting for the perfect moment to act. Clarity comes in the movement. Clarity is a product of taking action, of stepping out into the unknown, and letting the process of moving forward shape your understanding of where you need to go. The more you move, the clearer the path becomes. You start to see the bends in the road before they arrive. You begin to understand the terrain, the obstacles, the challenges. You can anticipate them, and you become better prepared to face them head on. Vision is another crucial aspect of keeping your balance. Having a vision for your life doesn't mean having a perfect, flawless plan. It means having a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a reason to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Your vision gives you the energy to pedal through the storm, to keep moving, even when the world feels heavy. And just like riding a bike, you need that vision to keep you steady, to remind you why you're on the journey in the first place. Purpose is the fuel that powers your movement. It's what makes the hard work worth it. Without purpose, you will find yourself adrift, lost in the noise of the world. But when you know why you're pedaling, when you understand that every movement forward brings you closer to something meaningful, you find the strength to keep going. But none of this is possible without discipline. Discipline is the steady rhythm that allows you to keep moving, even when the road is bumpy, even when your body is tired and your mind is screaming for you to stop. Discipline is the unshakable commitment to keep moving, to keep pedaling, even when you'd rather quit. It's the force that transforms your vision into reality, one pedal stroke at a time. And as you move, as you pedal through the highs and lows of your journey, gratitude becomes your anchor. Gratitude for the opportunity to keep moving. Gratitude for the lessons you learn along the way. And gratitude for the strength you discover within yourself. Gratitude shifts your perspective, allowing you to see the beauty in the struggle, the lessons in the pain, and the opportunity in every setback. Adaptability is the companion you need on this journey. The road you thought would be smooth may suddenly become rocky. The path you envisioned may shift, forcing you to navigate new and unfamiliar terrain. But adaptability is your gift. The ability to adjust, to learn, to find new ways forward. That's what keeps you from falling off course. Life will throw curveballs, but your ability to pivot, to adjust your approach, will determine how far you go. As you move, you must also learn. Learning isn't a passive activity. It's not something that happens to you. It's something you must actively seek. Every turn, every challenge, every mistake there is a lesson in it. And if you are open to learning, open to growth, then you will continuously evolve, continuously improve, and continuously move closer to your dreams. Because in the end, life is not about reaching a destination. It's about the transformation you undergo while in motion, the person you become in the process. It's about the wisdom you accumulate along the journey. It's about the way your heart expands, the way your mind evolves, the way you discover deeper reserves of strength and resilience that you never knew existed within you. And here's the truth. You will never know your true potential until you keep moving. You'll never know how far you can go until you take that first step, then the next, and the next. Never halting, never doubting, just moving forward. Resilience is born from movement. The more you move, the more resilient you become. The greater your capacity to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to keep your balance despite the storm. Like a tree that bends in the wind but doesn't break, resilience comes from the constant motion, the continuous growth that comes from living, from striving, from refusing to stand still. It's not about being unbreakable. It's about being able to bend, to adapt, to grow stronger after every storm. In those moments when the wind howls, when the rain beats down on your face, when the mountain seems impossible to climb, this is where resilience shows its true power. It is in those moments that your determination, your commitment to keep moving, becomes the fire that burns brightest. It is in those moments that your vision, your purpose, and your discipline become the fuel that propels you forward, even when the world tries to stop you. This is where faith enters the equation. Faith isn't just a spiritual concept. It's a practical tool. It's the trust that, even though you can't see every step ahead, the road is leading you somewhere. It's the belief that, despite the detours, the bumps, and the potholes, your movement is still taking you toward your destination. Faith is what keeps you going when your mind tells you to stop, when your body says it's too hard, when the road seems too long. Faith is the quiet voice that says, keep pedaling, keep moving. And what happens when you keep moving, when you keep pushing yourself forward, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable? You begin to make progress, incremental, small progress. But over time, that progress compounds. The tiny actions, the consistent steps, the dedication to keep moving, it all adds up. The distance you cover, the growth you experience, it all becomes part of who you are. It's in this progress, this accumulation of small victories, that true success is born. Success doesn't arrive in a single moment, and it certainly doesn't arrive because you found the perfect formula. Success comes from the consistent effort, the commitment to never stop moving forward. It's the quiet victories and the moments when no one else is watching. It's the hard work that happens behind the scenes. It's the ability to look at failure not as the end, but as just another part of the journey. It's the recognition that success is not an endpoint, but a continuous process of growth, learning, and becoming better than you were yesterday. As you move forward in life, you will encounter moments of doubt, moments of fear, and moments when the weight of it all feels unbearable. But remember this, you are stronger than you know. The obstacles you face are not roadblocks. They are opportunities to build the kind of strength that only comes from the struggle. Every challenge you encounter is an invitation to grow, to evolve, to become more resilient. And every time you rise again after a fall, you build the kind of inner fortitude that will carry you through anything. This is why the greatest achievers in history were not those who avoided failure, but those who embraced it, who kept moving even when the odds were stacked against them. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He didn't let failure stop him. He used it as a lesson, as a stepping stone. His invention of the light bulb didn't happen because he got everything right from the start. It happened because he kept moving, kept experimenting, kept learning. The same goes for all the greats: Walt Disney, who was told he lacked creativity; Steve Jobs, who faced rejection after rejection; Henry Ford, who faced skepticism at every turn. They didn't let the roadblocks define them. They kept moving forward, and in doing so, they reshaped the world. And now, it's your turn. You have within you the same power, the same potential, the same ability to overcome whatever stands in your way. You are capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. But to unlock that potential, you must keep moving. You must be willing to take the first step, even when it feels like the path is unclear. You must trust in the process, in the power of perseverance, and in the strength that only comes from pushing through. Success, fulfillment, and true happiness don't come to those who wait for the perfect moment. They come to those who create their own moments. They come to those who take imperfect action, who embrace the chaos, who trust that the ride is worth it, even when it gets rough. So, what are you waiting for? The road ahead is yours to take. The future is shaped by those who refuse to stand still, who refuse to wait for life to give them permission. The world is waiting for you to step into it, to take the handlebars of your life and start pedaling, no matter how unsure you may feel at first. Trust that as long as you keep moving, you will find your balance. You will find your purpose. You will find your greatness. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. And so, you must keep moving, always. Every pedal stroke is an act of defiance against the inertia of doubt. Every movement forward is a declaration of faith in yourself and the journey ahead. No one gets to where they want to go by staying still. Success, like balance, comes from the willingness to move, to embrace the unknown with confidence, and to keep pressing on, even when the winds are against you. This is why movement is the essence of life. The question isn't whether you'll face obstacles, it's how you will face them. It's not about whether the road will get tough, it's about how you will adapt, how you will rise above. Movement is not just the act of going forward, it's the act of transformation. Every challenge you overcome is a rung in the ladder of your growth. Every difficulty faced is a chance to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your spirit, and to discover just how resilient you really are. Think about the times in your life when you've been at a crossroads. Think about the moments when everything seemed uncertain, when you felt lost or unsure about the next step. Maybe you felt like you were too small, too insignificant, or too far behind. Yet, despite the doubts, you kept moving. You kept pushing forward, even when the path wasn't clear. And here's the thing. Every single step you took, no matter how small, brought you closer to where you are now. And that's where the power of action lies. It's not in waiting for the perfect opportunity or waiting for the world to give you permission to move forward. It's in trusting yourself enough to take action. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the fuel that powers every dream, every ambition, every goal. Without action, nothing changes. But with action, everything becomes possible. But let's be clear, action isn't always easy. There will be times when you feel like quitting, when you question if all the effort is worth it. You'll face doubts, setbacks, and challenges that make you want to throw in the towel. But if you remember nothing else, remember this. It's in those very moments that your greatest growth occurs. It's in those moments of struggle that your resilience is built. It's in those moments that you discover what you're truly capable of. You see, you are not defined by the obstacles you face, but by how you respond to them. Every time life knocks you down, you have a choice. Stay down or rise again. You can choose to keep moving, to keep fighting, to keep believing that the road ahead is worth it, no matter how difficult it may seem. It's the ones who rise, the ones who get back on their bikes, who find their balance and keep moving forward, who ultimately succeed. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges. It's about learning how to navigate them, how to bend without breaking, and how to turn every failure into fuel for the next step. It's about trusting that even in the hardest times, you are still progressing, still moving, still getting closer to your destination. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every hardship carries the seed of your transformation. As you keep pedaling, as you keep taking action, you'll begin to notice something profound happening. The world around you will start to shift. Opportunities will begin to appear where there once were none. Connections will be made, ideas will flow, and you'll discover doors opening that you never thought possible. This isn't magic, it's the result of consistent effort, of never stopping, of showing up day after day with a commitment to keep moving forward. And here's another truth. The more you keep moving, the more you realize that the real value of life isn't found in the destination, it's found in the journey itself. It's found in the person you become along the way. Every experience, every challenge, every victory shapes you, molds you into a stronger, more capable version of yourself. And that, ultimately, is what success is all about. It's not just about achieving your goals, it's about becoming someone worthy of those goals. It's about transforming yourself into the person who is strong enough, resilient enough, and determined enough to conquer anything that comes your way. This is where your real power lies, in your ability to keep moving, to keep learning, and to keep evolving. It's in your commitment to yourself and your dreams, even when the road is tough and the path is unclear. It's in your willingness to embrace the unknown, to trust the process, and to believe that no matter what obstacles arise, you will find your way through. So, what do you do now? What's your next step? The answer is simple. Keep moving. The next time you feel lost, uncertain, or overwhelmed, remember that the key to finding your way is to keep moving. The key to finding your balance is to keep pedaling. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for everything to align perfectly. Just start. Start where you are, with what you have, and keep moving. Trust that in the act of movement, you will find your clarity. Trust that in the act of action, you will find your purpose. And trust that in the act of resilience, you will find your strength. Because the truth is, the more you keep moving, the more you will uncover the immense potential that resides within you. And when you look back at your journey, you'll realize that every step, every struggle, every victory has led you to this moment, the moment where you have the power to shape your future, to conquer your dreams, and to live a life that is truly extraordinary. So, pedal on, keep moving. Life is waiting for you to embrace it.